everyone, James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 17 back-to-back battles. Is it me or is the room echoing a bit today? That's interesting. Maybe it's because I took my curtains down. Okay, so what is up, guys? James Baek here. Today we have another episode of VGC 17 back-to-back battles. We are using a Lapras today. Lapras is one of my favorite Pokemon in VGC ever since I used it in 2014. It's just a lot of fun. And I really wanted to showcase Lapras, so gonna be using a Lapras team. I don't think this is gonna work. If it echoes too much, yeah, I don't think this is gonna work. We're gonna see the team of Ninetales, Tapu Lele, Salamence, Araquanid, Metagross, and Tapu Koko. I think this is one of my better teams that I built, by the way, because I've been doing really well on off practice, while off camera, I should say. So, okay. Lapras does really well against my opponent's team. I can wall. Muk does extremely well against my opponent's team. He doesn't really have a solid answer to Muk. I think I'll lead Muk, and I don't need Tapu Bulu, really. I think Muk plus... You know what, we'll go Savali with Lapras and the Marowak in the back. That seems pretty solid to me. I actually am using Savali. I really didn't have a slot that I really needed for this team, so I just put Savali in because I thought Savali would be pretty decent. Savali can do some work. I needed something that was fast because I wanted some kind of fast mode. So we'll see how this goes. Muk and Savali will take the field. Love Savali, by the way. Or it is Savali. Savali. I don't know. Against Metagross and Tapu Koko, this is pretty ideal. Muk is in a very favorable position right here. Savali can't really do much. I don't have Flamethrower. This is my Fairy Savali too, so not the most ideal. I could have led Marowak and been completely fine, but he can't exactly free the Earthquake unless he switches out. I think I'll just knock off the Metagross to see what it can carry. And I'll protect Savali here just to scout what he wants to do. If he wants to go for a Meteor Mash into Savali, that's fine because I protect here. Tapu Koko might just want to protect and we might see an Earthquake from Metagross. Maybe scared of some kind of trick like Flamethrower. Savali can carry Flamethrower. I don't carry one on mine because I already have my Marowak that I really need. So it looks like we're probably not going to see the Earthquake unless we see a Volt Switch here. Oh, it's U-turn. Into Savali, actually. That's pretty nice. We are going to see that Earthquake, actually. So the U-turn's going to fail, and now he basically trapped his Tapu Koko in, and Tapu Koko will probably go down if it's Choice Banded. It's not Choice Banded Metagross, so at least we know that much. And it's physical Tapu Koko, or unless it's mixed. We'll heal back with the Muk with our Figy Berry and get the knockoff onto Metagross. Doing a heck of a lot. That puts it in the Thunderbolt range. It's Assault Vest Metagross, which kind of made sense. If it isn't Choice Banded, I think Assault Vest is probably the next best thing. But nice. Let's see. What does he have potentially on his team? I think that turn played out pretty well for us. I guess he was trying to U-turn into Salamence because I really don't see anything. He doesn't exactly appreciate a Poison Jab, and I'm guessing that his Salamence would carry the Z move, so I'm just going to Poison Jab the Tapu Koko, and Metagross is carrying the Assault Vest, can't protect. I'll just launch a Thunderbolt into the Metagross slot. Tapu Koko wants to protect, that's fine. We're just going to see the U-turn again, and most likely it's going to be out into Salamence, and I'm guessing Salamence is going to carry the Dragonium Z, I think that's what it's called. And we are going to see Salamence comes out. Solid play for my opponent. That would have worked for the Earthquake. I don't get why you went and U-turn into Muk, because you know that Muk would be the threat. But I don't know what my opponent's thinking. We're going to get the Thunderbolt off, and this will be able to knock out the Metagross with the Electric Terrain boost. Yep. Metagross will go down, and we'll get a bit of chip damage onto this Salamence with the Poison Jab. Ah, that Poison Jab doing a fantastic amount to the Salamence, even at -1. I'll put it in... Well, I'm pretty sure it was in Ice Beam range already, but I'm not exactly sure about the Savali calcs. As we're going to see Tapu Koko come back in, and that's completely fine. I could expect a Z Drake here. Do I really need my Metagross anymore? I mean, it can help against the Tapu Lele. If I get rid of Tapu Koko, my Lapras actually does fantastic against my opponent's team. The U-turn didn't look like Choice Band. I think I'll just protect Muk and go for the Ice Beam into Salamence, because if we get rid of Salamence, his team doesn't appreciate Marowak, so... And Tapu Koko, I think, would be the more likely to protect out of the two. We're just going to protect Muk, and we're probably going to see a Z Drake and a Thunderbolt. Nature's Madness is actually going to come out. And we'll target down Savali, which is fine. I think we'll be able to live any attack from the Salamence. It's going to be sub, actually. Okay. I like that play. Basically, you know that Savali does carry Ice Beam usually if you do see a Savali. It is a bit rare. So he knew that I couldn't knock out Salamence unless it was a Savali's Ice Beam, but the fact that is I can only go for it once and I'll go before Muk. So I couldn't break this up with Poison Jab. I really don't need Muk anymore, so I'll just Poison Jab. And I'll just fire off. Maybe I should care about Wild Charge? Yeah, I should probably care about Wild Charge actually. I'll sack my Marowak right here. And go for the Flash Cannon into Tapu Koko, I think. Just because Salamence doesn't really pose a threat to my Lapras, but we're actually going to see the Tapu Lele come in. I guess that's fine as well. We do get the Flash Cannon off onto Tapu Lele, which is good damage. And we get to preserve our Muk, and we're most likely going to see the Z move wasted from the Salamence, so this is pretty fine. We're going to get Marowak back in. We are going to see the Z Drake here. It would have been better to sack the Lapras, I think, but Lapras would have been useful because it does wall the Ninetales in the back, and it can deal good damage to the Araquanid, so did not expect a Tapu Lele there, but we're going to see the Devastating Drake come out. Now it'll probably target down, that has to target down my Marowak, and this will probably pick up the knockout. I did finally change my Marowak spread, by the way, but we should still go down, yep. Marowak will go down, which is completely fine, and we'll get this Flash Cannon off into Tapu Lele. Should do probably about 50%. A little less than 50%, so I still think that's fine no matter what. I can go out into my Lapras here, and you can't knock out both my Pokemon here. Yeah, so I can just go for a Freeze Dry, I think, into the Salamence and go for a... I could probably just Flash Cannon the Tapu Lele again. There's really no reason to protect any of my Pokemon. I don't want to see it double up into like Lapras if I protect Savali. And really, knocking out Salamence is great for me. We're going to see the Protect from Salamence, which is completely fine. As Flash Cannon, we're actually faster than Tapu Lele. Not what I expected. I actually thought that Tapu Lele was going to be faster because I am actually running a Modest Nature. We're going to see the Psychic come out, and that will target down my Savali, and that should go down. Yeah. Okay, so, this is like the one time I wish I had Ice Shard as a potential move. We'll go out into Muk here. Alright, we go out into Muk, we Freeze Dry the Salamence 100% on his Draco Meteor onto Muk, and probably we would see just a double up into Muk, to be honest, because Tapu Koko should be able to knock out the Lapras if it's physical, so unless he wants to guarantee it with Psychic, I don't really see a reason for him to target Lapras. Oh wow, we're going to see the Draco Meteor, and that's going to target down the Lapras. Interesting play. Alright, so that really doesn't do much. Assault Vest Lapras really proving in clutch, but we're going to see the double up into Lapras, which is a bit unfortunate. Oh, I thought that was a crit for a second. We're going to get the Freeze Dry off into the Salamence, and that will pick up the knockout. And now it's basically a mind game, I think. Yeah, but then again, Wild Charge Recoil will probably knock out the Tapu Koko if it decides to target my Muk. And the Wild Charge shouldn't be able to knock out my Muk. Also, he has to be worried about a potential Ice Shard that could come out, so I'll just go for the... Wild Charge shouldn't be able to knock out Muk. I think I'll Freeze Dry Tapu Lele and go for the Poison Jab into Tapu Koko. He might just protect Moonblast. Or maybe it's Dazzling Gleam. Oh, that would suck, but I can't do anything about Dazzling Gleam anyway. I'll go into Lele. As we're just going to see straight the Wild Charge, and it will target Muk. And we will be able to survive with our bulk, and Tapu Koko will go down. Unless we see a Dazzling Gleam here, we should be able to pick up a win. But we will just see the Psychic, and that will go out into the Lapras. Perfect. And we now win because we get the Poison Jab off onto Tapu Lele. So I knew that if he wanted a chance to win, I think he had to protect the Tapu Koko, and I think he had to Dazzle. Well, if he had Dazzling Gleam, he won. So I'm trying to think because okay, maybe he was worried about me knocking out his Tapu Lele there and then having the potential to Ice Shard Shadow Sneak. I don't carry Shadow Sneak on my Muk, so I think that's what my opponent was thinking. Because if I did have Ice Shard Shadow Sneak, he 100% lost. But if he did assume that I was having Ice Shard Shadow Sneak, my chance there was to double attack Tapu Koko. But then again, we saw Nature's Madness on Tapu Koko, so most likely it was probably Assault Vest. Yeah, it wasn't Life Orb, so it was probably Assault Vest, so I should have looked at that more carefully. That means if I just double targeted Tapu Koko, I should have had a guaranteed win. Because the Wild Charge, Recoil, would have knocked him out if he did target Muk like we did see, and if he went for the Wild Charge into Lapras, I knock it out with Muk, and 2 Moonblasts from Tapu Lele shouldn't have been able to knock out my Muk at that range. So that probably would have been the better call. I think I had to take more notes in my mind about that. Like, stop, think for a second, analyze what did he have in the past, and then can make my current moves based on that knowledge. But let's look for another game. I will be right back, actually. We'll go into transition. Alright, we got T-Phone from Australia as our next opponent. If you guys can't tell, my rating is a bit different. I did mess around after eating dinner. Well, while eating dinner. But we will see the team of Raichu, Tapu Koko, Gigalith, Gyarados. Oh, apparently we're not going to see that team. Okay. Don't know what to say. Please tell me it wasn't us that DC'd. Alright, it wasn't us that DC'd. Perfect. But yeah, the battles that I played, well, I got bodied in the first, like, I did 2 battles while eating. I got bodied the first game. The second game, I don't know, I think it came down to my opponent flinching with Air Slash. But we're going to find Lorenzo using Gavin Michaels' team, it looks like, the one he used to win San Jose Regional Championship. We got Drampa, Porygon 2, what is that? Araquanid, Magnezone, Mimikyu, and Hariyama. So, very interesting team. Very interesting team. I don't exactly have a great answer to any of these. I think Marowak Muk is my best play as a lead. Like, I'm trying to think of what I would bring. I don't think Tapu Bulu is the call. Woodhammer does do a lot of damage, but the fact that I think it was what? It might have been. Was it Fire Blast Drampa? I know it had Energy Ball, Draco Meteor. I know it didn't have Hyper Voice. Savali could. Nah, I don't think Savali's that great. I think Salamence and Lapras are the best Pokemon to have in the back. Because I'm gonna lead Muk plus the. I'm going to lead Muk plus Marowak because about 95% of the time you're going to lead Hariyama, Porygon 2 with his team. The only way I could stop it is with Taunt on my Muk, but he has no reason not to fake out Muk in my opinion. So we'll see how this goes. Muk Marowak will be my lead of choice against my opponents, probably Hariyama, Porygon 2. Pretty strong lead for my opponent. Download will activate, gets the special attack rise. Ooh, that means Ice Beam and Thunderbolt will be hitting for a lot of damage. Is this the right... Wait, is this the right Marowak set? I actually don't know if this is the right Marowak set. I'm gonna go for Shadow Bone into Hariyama. And I'll go out into my Salamence here for the Intimidate because there's 100... Like, you should fake out Muk. You should fake out Muk. You're guaranteed Trick Room that way. If we knock off the Marowak, I'm very upset. But we should see a fake out Trick Room, in all honesty. Yep, fake out. I'm gonna go out into Salamence, doing minuscule damage, and we will get the Shadow Bone off, and it will target down the Hariyama. Nice, and we get the defense drop, which doesn't really matter since it would have been knocked out by any of my attacks anyway. Porygon 2 will set up that Trick Room, and the Flame Orb will activate. So now we have to stall out 4 turns of Trick Room, which isn't great for our side. I think we could just double protect here. I really don't want to lose my item on Marowak. Yeah, Marowak is so important in this game. I think double protect is the call. Ah, he has Feint though. He has Feint as an option. Maybe I should just Shadow Bone the Hariyama and switch out my Salamence and go out into my Lapras. Because Knockoff won't knock out my Marowak with the Intimidate. And the fact he could Feint Ice Beam read my double protect. So I'm going to make the Lapras play. Yeah, we're going to see the Feint. Perfect. And it will target down my Lapras. Excellent. And we'll probably just see the Ice Beam. Yep. Perfect. When you kind of know double protect, I mean, I usually play safe against Trick Room, but against teams with Feint, I will change up my battle strategy a whole lot. And then, again, even if he knocked off, he wouldn't have knocked out my Marowak, and this was just a safe play no matter what. So we got Lapras in, which is pretty good. Araquanid's going to come out. It had Hydro Vortex and stuff like that. I feel like I'm pretty safe to just protect with the Marowak and go for a Freeze Dry. He can't really do much to Lapras other than Leech Life. Or was it Lunge he had? And I'll just Freeze Dry the Araquanid. He can't Thunderbolt my Slot either. We're going to see the Porygon 2 withdrawn. Maybe into Magnezone. Yep. Magnezone will be my opponent's player choice, as we will protect with our Marowak. And we'll probably just see attack into the... Yep, Liquidation into the Marowak slot. As we will get this Freeze Dry off, and it will target down the Araquanid for some solid damage. This Araquanid didn't have recovery. A nice good amount of damage. So we'll probably just see another Liquidation, or maybe Hydro Vortex. And we'll probably see a Thunderbolt. Lapras pretty much done his job. It got the damage on the Araquanid I need. We have 2 more turns of Trick Room. I think Salamence is a safe play. And I can go for the Freeze Dry? Yeah, I think Freeze Dry into Araquanid. I am Assault Vest, but this Magnezone was Choice Banded. I mean Choice Specs, not Choice Banded. Imagine Choice Banded Magnezone. We'll get Salamence in, get the Intimidate, because I think Marowak's more valuable because of the fact it has Bonemerang for this Magnezone. And I could get into a position where it'd be Muk and Marowak next to each other, and I think that'd be very good for me. Liquidation gonna come out, target down my Salamence. We'll probably see a Thunderbolt. Yep. Thunderbolt targeting down my Lapras. How much will this do? Lapras, so bulky. Able to get the Freeze Dry off into the Araquanid. Excellent. I think he just... Don't know what my opponent wants to do, but I do want to get into a position where I can get my... I do want to get my Muk in. Maybe I should just switch out to Muk directly. That's kind of risky, but we do have the Intimidate onto the Araquanid. And I'll just Freeze Dry the Araquanid slot. We might see if Magnezone switch out to Porygon 2, that's why, to try to reset Trick Room later. But I'm fine losing my Lapras no matter what, and I do want to get my Muk next into Marowak. We're going to see the Lunge, and it will target down my Lapras. Yep. So Lapras will go down. And the Magnezone will just go for a Thunderbolt. It is Choice Specs. I could have went out into my Marowak. But again, I don't really mind that too much. I can go out to my Marowak now, and there's not really much he can do. As Figy Berry will heal us up a nice amount of damage. We can go out into Marowak here. I can go for a knockoff into Magnezone because he pretty much should have to go into Porygon 2. Thunderbolt won't be doing anything for my opponent. He has to switch out Magnezone if he wants a chance, in my opinion. So I'll just knock off Magnezone and go for the Shadow Bone into Araquanid. If he stays in with Magnezone, it's not a big deal because I do have Bonemerang. As yeah, we're going to see the Magnezone withdraw. We might see the Araquanid protect. But I'm fine just getting a knockoff into this Porygon 2. This Porygon 2 can't touch my Marowak either. Yep, we're going to see the Araquanid Protect. And I will just knock off this free item on the Porygon 2, which is fantastic. Yep, free damage. And now we can just go for the taunt into Porygon 2. He cannot stop it. I don't care if he goes for Ice Beam or Thunderbolt. If he predicts that, I have no reason not to. And I will Flare Blitz the Araquanid slot just in case he wants to go out into his Magnet Zone. And I don't want to risk Bonemerang hitting. So either way, I think we're in a very solid position to win the game. Unless Ice Beam freezes. That's always an option. But then again, I have Flare Blitz anyway, so I don't think an Ice Beam Freeze would even be the end of the world. I guess it would be on Muk. But yeah, we will get the Flare Blitz off, and now we'll target down my opponent's Araquanid. Araquanid will go down, even with that Water Bubble. It's very little HP left. Marowak able to heal up, and we get this taunt. This taunt onto the Porygon 2. And I love Taunt Muk. I really do. Taunt Muk is one of my favorite sets. Because it's so good. They don't expect Taunt. They expect Shadow Sneak or something. And I think Taunt is just has more utility. So we're going to see Magnet Zone come out. It is Choice Specs. I can go for my Poison Jab into Porygon 2. And I can just go for a Flare Blitz into Magnet Zone. They don't run Sturdy. They run Magnet Pull for Celesteela. We're going to see the Hidden Power Ground. And it will target down my Marowak. We should be able to survive this, no problem. Yep. And we will be faster than the Porygon 2 since it's Trick Room oriented. The Flare Blitz will come out into the Magnet Zone, and that will be the game, because Porygon 2 cannot come back from a Muk, especially when it's taunted. He should not have a chance, especially if it's a Violite fallen. Then again, an Ice Beam Freeze could matter now, but we will get the Poison Jab off, and he should be in range of Devastating Drake, possibly. Yeah, I think without the Violite, Devastating Drake should be able to knock him out. Yep, and he doesn't get the freeze, so we get the Devastating Drake combined with the Poison Jab for the KO, so nice. Nice. I like it. I like it. This team, super fun in my opinion. I love this team. The Savali slot is a bit weird, but other than that, I really love this team. Devastating Drake into the Porygon 2. I wonder if it will live. I really doubt it. And even if it lives, yeah, we're just going to see the forfeit because Ice Beam isn't going to do enough damage to Muk. With Taunt, you can't recover stall me. And yeah, that would be the game. He didn't really have an option. I guess he would have had to try to take down Muk a lot earlier in the game. Maybe we could have seen a close combat straight onto the Muk in the beginning, even though I switched it out into Salamence. But yeah, I think just knowing my opponent's team, that big play there where I was able to knock out the Hariyama with the Shadow Bone when we saw the feint. Well, no matter what, it was a safe play for me, but I was able to make that play because I knew my opponent had feint on the Hariyama. So I think that's huge. Knowledge is very helpful, and my opponent didn't know I had Taunt Muk. But yeah, I really want Lapras to shine in the game though. I mean, we saw Lapras live hits, but we haven't really seen it where it truly shines. And there are a lot of matchups that Lapras can truly shine. I'm not sure about this one, but this one's interesting. Natalie with Marowak, Salamence, Hariyama, Slowbro, Snorlax, and Tapu Koko. Like, I'm trying to think, what can this team even do? Alright, I think my best lead, no matter what, would be Salamence Muk. It's pretty solid against my opponent's team. Or I could lead Marowak Muk. I actually kind of like that more. Yeah, let's lead Marowak Muk. Again, because I am expecting a Trick Room team. Let's see. Then again, Tapu Bulu would be fine as a lead, but I'm not sure if I want to bring Tapu Bulu. It does do well against the Slowbro, but other than that, it doesn't really do much. I want Salamence, and do I want Lapras? It's the question, do I? I kind of want to leave Lapras out of it, actually. Yeah, I think Tapu Bulu is the better call. The reason I think Tapu Bulu is the better call is I need damage. I need offensive presence against that Snorlax. Snorlax could be a very huge threat to my team. Like, extremely huge. Especially if it's a Belly Drum set. Luckily, my opponent can have Psycho Belly Drum. That's something that I am very fortunate for. And luckily that's not Mega Slowbro because my team would not have a way to hit that Slowbro. But let's see. Unfortunately, yes, we see Oblivious on Slowbro a lot. So we'll see how this goes. Pokemon Trainer Natalie. Marowak Muk will lead. Again, it's probably Hariyama, Slowbro, yep. Slowbro's a Pokemon that carries Oblivious, so I doubt I can taunt it. We're probably just going to see a Fake Out into Muk. So I'll just Shadow Bone and I think switch out into Salamence. Yeah, basically the same play I'm going for as the last game. Basically, I want that Intimidate straight onto this Hariyama in the first place. I don't know if this Hariyama will carry Feint though. That's like the big money question. Does this Hariyama carry Feint? Yeah, we're just going to see the Fake Out again into the Salamence. Let's see how well this Slowbro can take a Shadow Bone. It is Marowak with Fit Club. It's very powerful. But yeah, Slowbro just so physically defensive it can take that. And the Trick Room will be set up. Oh, interesting. No Flame Orb from the Hariyama. So it will not be able to regain... Well, one is not burned, so it's not going to be able to do as much damage. That's actually really interesting. We're probably just going to see a knockoff Ice Beam here, so I'll just protect Marowak. And I want to go out into Muk, because Muk will be in a better position. We're actually going to see the Hariyama withdraw. Oh, not Snorlax. No. It's begun. It's begun. Alright, we're going to go out into Muk. I don't know if we're going to see a Scald or if we're going to see, like, Ice Beam. Honestly, I would probably Scald the Marowak slot. Light Screen actually coming out. What is this? Light Screen Reflect. I will go for the Flare Blitz and Poison Jab into the Snorlax. I hope it's not Curselax. Curselax would be terrible for me. No, it's just Belly Drum. Alright, so I'm not protecting here. As you guys can see, I am not protecting. Oh, shoot. It's Heal Pulse. Well, let's see how well it can take a Flare Blitz plus Poison Jab. If we can get the Poison, that would be great. We actually do get that Poison. Let's see if Flare Blitz will put it in the range of the Poison. Not sure. But Flare Blitz is going to do a lot of damage. Oh, that's Fick Fat. Oh, shoot. That's Fick Fat. Oh, jeez. How many turns of Trick Room? 2 more. What would the Snorlax have? Kinda just want to double protect the Scout if he has like an Earthquake or something. Oh boy, this is extremely scary to deal with. Luckily, we are stalling out these Trick Room turns, and I guess the worst is Heal Pulse, but then again, I do have my Tapu Bulu in the back. We're gonna see the Slowbro withdraw out into Hariyama. Interesting play. I wonder if this is Assault Vest Hariyama, because we didn't see that Flame Orb from earlier. But I will just double protect here. It's safe. He's not recovering, which is really nice. And we will see Facade. Oh my lord. He's not Gluttony, but he has the berry. That's actually interesting. We're probably just going to see a knock. We could see Fake Out. How much do I value? He can't knock out both my Pokemon, which is fortunate. Maybe just a Shadow Bone into Hariyama. And attempt to double protect with Muk. I don't know what my opponent would do. I think Fake Out Muk is an option. We're going to see the switch into Salamence, actually. Interesting. So getting that Intimidate off, if we get the double protect, that would be extremely good for me. We actually do get the double protect. Let's see what this Snorlax went for. It's going to be the Facade again into Muk. Okay. And we get the Shadow Bone off, and it will target down the Salamence. Good damage. Oh, man. Is that Intimidate? I don't think it is. Yeah, I don't think that's That's not Intimidated. Alright, so we'd probably see like a Draco Meteor here. And a Facade. How much do I value my Muk? I swear that's Regenerate Slow where I'm gonna flip the table because I could have just taunted. Alright, I think I'll switch out into Tapu Bulu. How many turns of Trick Room left? No, Trick Room's over. Okay. I can just Poison Jab the Snorlax, get some residual damage, and put in the guaranteed Horn Leech range. We're actually going to see the Salamence withdraw. Hariyama's going to come back out. Okay. That's interesting. Marowak will withdraw. We're going to get Tapu Bulu back in. We're just going to get the Grassy Terrain to the Snorlax, which is a bit unfortunate, but I will gladly take this. Advantageous position. We'll get the Poison Jab off, which will put him in the Devastating Drake range, I think. Yeah. Facade's going to come out. Target down to Muk. Muk is going to go down. What if he's Poison Jab Hariyama? Please don't be Poison Jab Hariyama. I think Horn Leech will pick up the... I'm actually not sure Poison Jab would knock out the Snorlax at this range. I'm going to bring out my Salamence here. We might see Feint too. We could see Feint. Alright, so I'll bring out Salamence, and I don't want to risk a Feint, so I think just double attacking the Snorlax is the best call. You don't switch out to Salamence here. Actually, I'm just gonna Horn Leech Devastating Drake. It's very safe. Onto the Snorlax, it's very safe. Yeah, we're just gonna see the Feint. Perfect. Into the Tapu Bulu. Excellent. Probably expecting double protect, but since both my Pokemon are going to be faster than Snorlax, I had no reason to double protect there. And I can potentially just pick up a double knockout right here. We're going to surround ourselves with the Z power and unleash our full force. It's going to be that Devastating Drake, and it will target down that Snorlax, and that should knock out the Snorlax. I mean, Light Screen is over. Yep, Snorlax is going to go down. Perfect. Let's see how much Horn Leech does to this Hariyama. Oh, solid amount, solid amount. Very nice. We'll probably see Salamence come back out. Salamence is going to come out. I'm pretty sure the Hariyama's in range of Wood Hammer 100%. So what my opponent could do is either just risk the Speed Tie. That's a very... I think that's a fine option. But if he wants to risk that, but he could just switch out Hariyama, sack Slowbro, and try to get the fake out pressure. So what I'm going to do is actually hammer on the Hariyama slot, and I will sub here. I think it's pretty safe. If we win the Speed Tie, we get the sub up. Yeah, we are going to win the Speed Tie and get the sub up. So we stall out a turn. We actually just going to see the Flamethrower come out into the Tapu Bulu. That will not knock me out. Wow, Tapu Bulu actually ate that a lot better than expected. The Wood Hammer will come out into the Hariyama, and that will pick up the knockout. Yep. Hariyama will go down. We will take a bit of recoil, which is, you know, alright. But with the leftovers plus the Grassy Terrain, this Tapu Bulu is healing very nicely. Yeah, that poison was very fortunate for me, and that double protect as well. But, you know, well, Poison Jab, 30% chance, just like Scald. Double protect, you know, sometimes you have to risk it. I don't think it's not like 100% certain I would have lost, because I would have gotten a Tapu Bulu and Salamence earlier, so I might have still been able to win. Like, it wasn't a game over for me if I didn't get the double protect. I'll just Horn Leech a Draco Meteor. I don't lose anything unless I miss a Draco Meteor, but then again, I'm still behind the sub no matter what. We're going to see the forfeit from my opponent, and that will be good game. So I think what my opponent could have done to win is hope for that Draco Meteor missed. Flamethrower, get rid of the Tapu Bulu, Trick Room, and then get the Scald crit into Marowak, win the Speed Tie, break myself, maybe dodge Draco Meteors on the way. I think my opponent did have a somewhat of a chance to win that game, but we're going to see the forfeit instead. But we actually got 3 wins in today's episode. It actually would have been 1-2 if I recorded those other games. Luckily, they were off camera. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Lapras team, we didn't get to see Lapras do as much work as I wanted, and I have brought Lapras to a lot of my games. I actually probably played 10 games before, and Lapras was just doing so much work. I really hope to bring Lapras. I'm actually surprised I brought Savali. I didn't bring Savali before, but anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you guys did, leave a like down below. If you guys want to try out the team, there's a paste bin in the description down below. Lapras is one of my favorite Pokemon, people. I'm excited. I love using this Pokemon on camera. There's also a playlist down below. If you missed any episodes of VGC back-to-back battles, you can follow me on my social medias, Twitter, Twitch if you want to watch my live streams. If you want to support the channel, there's Patreon. But otherwise, other than that, I will see you guys around in another video.